Hi guys, hope you're all well. Great to be back. Been a good new year. Hope everyone had a good time and relaxed and got to see some family. I know the travel's been quite hard for a lot of people, and this new variant has definitely disrupted a lot of the the travel, as we know. So I've got a great message for the 2022 forecast, and it's really just to give a little bit of idea of what's coming. The main thing is that we don't get into this fear and panic that is still being driven through our basal chakra or base chakra, that's causing a lot of stress and anxiety in human collective consciousness. And this is what's happening now, is the whole that rigidity in the collective is starting to sort of loosen. And it's creating ripples through the planet, through our emotional bodies, and it's very important at the moment to stay very, very grounded, because if we don't stay grounded, then what's going to happen is you're going to start to feel this collective energy surging through your own bodies. Now, we're all connected anyway, but we want to be able to detach ourselves from the energy that's trying to resolve itself, or the energy that's not wanting to move on, okay? Because there's a lot of choice here, and there's going to be a lot of mainstream people that don't want to move on, and will stay in the illusion, and that's okay. But there's going to be a lot of frenetic energy coming out because of that. So in a way, things are shaping as they're meant to. This whole experiment is starting to play itself out the way it's meant to play itself out. Now, of course, consciousness is not perfect, so we are pioneers for this evolutionary path of physicality. Because physicality on different planets can be a very different experience, but this is very much the human experience, a hybrid human experience. And as we've discussed many times, we're many collective aspects of different beings in our DNA. We are like a being of many proportions, which means we have a lot of potential, and things are going to be shifting. A lot of things will start to happen in the next 5 to 10 years, but 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the track, the planet's going to be in a very different place. And we should be, I believe, and I haven't tuned into this, but I'm getting a message now that 2070, and they're confirming 2070, which is 50 years away, we're going to be using a very, very different system, but it's going to be in place, and it's going to be very, very nature-based. So everything we're moving towards at the moment, these green companies, everything's slow here because we're still dealing with corruption, we're still dealing with patriarchal, basal, fuel systems. I was just talking to Larissa, my girlfriend, the other day. How funny it is that they're still trying to fly to the moon on petrol. I mean, it's ridiculous. But this is the narrative that we keep playing into. So again, so all of these sort of things that are moving and shifting are all laid down as a blueprint for where the Earth is going. Now, many planets evolve out of this illusion of servitude, and many civilizations in different planets go through this experience. So, we're not the first to do it. We're maybe the first to do it in a human suit, but there's a lot of assistance coming to make sure, and some of that assistance has been here for hundreds of thousands of years, to be honest, been laying sort of dormant or directing things. But the system is definitely changing now. It comes down to us as a human collective consciousness to question the narrative, and I've been talking about that for mainly last 2 years since COVID started, really imprinting that, and taking sovereignty over our own bodies, our own thoughts, questioning things, which we are doing. We're getting there, but there's a lot more work to do, obviously. As we spoke about, the light and dark, as in the same energy or shadow energy, becoming quite overt now, because it's there, it's trying to release itself as well. It doesn't want to be playing in this illusion any longer as well. That's a hard thing for people to get their heads around, but it's actually true. The shadow, or what we call evil, or dark, or whatever you want to call it, has to release itself as well. It has to come out of this experience. So the more we stay away from fear and keep creating this separation between shadow people, or what's actually happening now is vaccinated, unvaccinated. This is the divide again. But so the more we keep this divide with what we believe is dark, negative, stupid, horrible, the more that we hold the planet back, we hold ourselves back. Now, the planet's moving forward anyway, so we have to be in alignment with that. And there's many people that will speak about it's actually the planet evolving more, so as we are extensions of that planet, we have to go with it. So it's not so much about just humans developing themselves, it's a planetary consciousness as well. And to be honest, we are part of that planet because our bodies are made of the planet, minerals and stuff. So of course, we have to see it as a whole. And this is why so much is being put back into nature, looking after the earth. Scientists are now speaking out a bit more that, the earth is a breathing, like I think they went into space not long ago, didn't they? I think Shatner went up, William Shatner. There was a few people talking about it afterwards, where the astronauts have gone up and they can actually see, I don't know if they see it physically or through lenses or whatever, but they can see the earth breathing. And I believe that's, has shaken a lot of that sort of parochial, sort of institutional belief systems around the planet. It's like they used to say, animals can't feel pain or they don't have emotions. I mean, this is, it's crazy, but it's coming from that sort of train of thought. So again, I think, what's actually happening now is our collective DNA is starting to shift, starting to wake up, and things are starting to move. So again, and this message really pushes about working on yourself as well, the most important thing. And we've talked about this, and I even teach this on my workshops, that, that collective energy, when you change your cellular information, you affect everyone around you, and that's how the light spreads on the planet, micro and macro level. So of course, this is the fundamental truth that we're all trying to remember. All of this information is already within our own hearts, within our own higher selves or souls. So we just have to clear that emotional body so we can come into alignment with right information instead of misinformation. So again, everything's within us. All we have to do is remove the conditioning. So we don't actually have to go anywhere. We just need to work on ourselves. And if you want to call that evolution or evolvement, then fantastic. Then we are in the right space. Okay. So I'm going to read off this message now. I channeled this morning, so it's very fresh. Okay, here we go. So again, from the Viridian consciousness, the energy that I work with. A year to finalize that which does not bring happiness and fulfillment. A year to come to terms with the old lifestyle and to finally make permanent change a reality. Pondering on the past will not bring you the results. In actual fact, looking back now for any reason will only bring more confusion. The mind's place has to be in surrender to the soul's voice. If you allow yourselves a chance to fulfill the soul's desires, you'll find that life starts to change very quickly around you, and obstacles become surmountable or just disappear. Most of your obstacles are fear-based, coming from the story you have told yourself and not from the soul's expression. You must surrender your control, your rigidity, so the soul energy can move in fluidity, in frequency. Rigidity hinders the flow of the soul. You are all starting to realize that holding on to the drama only drains you emotionally and mentally. And you lie to yourselves and say, everything will be okay. But what you need to realize is that waiting patiently for change will not bring fruition. The energy on the planet is moving, and you need to be moving with it. But this is not about male energy of action and conquer. This is about acknowledgement and awareness of what is. And what is really a transformation of the old earth model. Now, all you need to do personally is give space for your hearts to open by acknowledging your emotions and what doesn't work for you any longer. So action in surrender is the name of the game, not action with persistence. Take time to sit with how you are feeling and trust your inner voice, not your programming of what you think you should do. This year will see an increase in illness and mental health as people try to deny their emotions, resisting change. You will see economic changes in China, France and the UK as the old energies are brought to the surface for acknowledgement. There will be a water-based virus that connects to the kidneys. It's there to trigger the deep fear in the subconscious, because fear is now at an all-time high. The problem here is the narrative you are being sold, which is still stimulating the basal energy. You will notice poisoning in certain crops, especially vegetables. This is coming from the rain and the toxins in the air. This is a byproduct from the factories that process carbon emissions and plastics. Rare heart diseases and heart attacks will increase due to the human heart that is closed down because people continue to deny their emotions. There will be a stirring in Antarctica as ancient technology comes to light, and there will be some new space discoveries that will stimulate the science world and evolve their trajectory of thought and process. The border violations of your countries and human rights violations of the people will continue until you question the narrative and get clear on how you want to live, and not by some dictatorial government that is self-serving. Freedom is your ability to question. And when you don't question, you say to the universe, I have no power. I have no voice. And so the abuse of your personal and planetary sovereignty will continue. You have to save yourselves, otherwise you haven't learned the experience given to you. There will be huge tidal shifts this year and devastation as the earth moves her consciousness towards a lighter vibration. The abuse of the sea would be brought under the microscope, especially the fishing world and the inhumane techniques they deploy. There will be a stirring in the Aegean Sea as the old Lyrian energies laid down thousands of years ago start to stir. This will bring forth the divine feminine energy that will start to move through southern Europe and then around the globe. A re-evaluation of the tax on your planet is in conversation as equality for all is now coming to the surface. Change is coming, but you must all be honest with yourselves and make your personal changes, which in turn will affect the human collective consciousness and its trajectory. So we're going to do, so there's quite a few little bits and pieces in there. Again, we've talked about there's going to be chaos on the planet, we're going through it now. So, a few more tidal waves, bits and pieces happening and viruses, it's all part of the experience. It's something we're all used to now. So don't let that alarm you in any way. It's just, again, a shaking up of consciousness. And because the planet's doing it as well, and the souls, everyone's soul is desiring change and trying to get the human extension to listen. So it's triggering illness and disease in people, because the illness and disease is there to mirror back to you what you haven't worked on in yourself. That's why we manifest these physical things. It's because denial of the emotional body, or denial of the mental body, or the belief systems that are created through your traumas or your experiences, and then they get held in. So we call it like a unilateral emotional hold, where oscillation has not been allowed to swing within an organ or within a cell. And of course, if it's unilateral and there's no oscillation, because everything in the universe works in oscillation, everything swings in oscillation. It's how particles, minerals, molecules, everything moves through space, through oscillation. It's the same as a tide going in and out. So of course, our breath as well. So everything has to be moving, fluid. And this is, again, this rigidity that they're talking about, but that's the ego. It's hold, it's stubbornness, and we're going to see that come to the surface in a lot of people this year. And they've been talking about mental illness, becoming a real problem in the last couple of years, due to the denial of the emotional body. And what's happening, because they're denying their emotions, that energy then, if it doesn't manifest it as a sort of illness, it will go into the mind, so it causes a mental illness. But really, it's still denial of the emotional body, even if it's heart disease, cancer, Alzheimer's. Again, it's all part of the same denial of that flow of consciousness within your body. So there's a lot of things coming up, but that's okay. You know, this is all part of the experience. We will understand this on a soul level. It's just, you know, it's just processing and staying out of the story. It's really important to stay out of the mainstream story at the moment. Be conscious of it, obviously, because that's what's going on. Help out where you can. You know, get people to talk about their emotions. Get people to, you know, listen to the body, what they're feeling. And don't see, when they've got feelings come up, you know, tell them that that's a good thing, because they're feeling it, they can acknowledge it, they can release it. What happens is we try to push it down. So, you know, people that are conscious out there that know how to work with emotional energy, you know, really this year, just, you know, put your voice out to people where you can, and get people awake to what's going on in them. You know, these emotions are there to release themselves. They don't want to be in the body just as much as you don't want them there anymore. So, you know, see them as something conscious, see them as alive, and all you have to do is just acknowledge them in that moment with that love, with that gratitude, and understand that, you know, if you hold on to them any longer, they're going to manifest somewhere in your physical. So it's really important that we are becoming conscious of that now. And you know, there just needs to be a lot more information and teaching around emotional and our bodies. We get people into that sort of awareness and start living from that awareness, then that's, of course, then we can help lots and lots of people. So this is, you know, for conscious leaders now, for conscious healers, you know, this is the way forward. This is what we all need to aspire to and move into, and get out of a lot of the old ways of doing things, because energy and consciousness is very dynamic, it's very sharp, very electric at the moment. So really it's just getting out of the way and allowing the soul energy to be forward, be in our presence, and then it'll start to manifest our life path in front of us. So yeah, lots going on. So we'll keep up. We'll probably do, because this year's going to be quite tumultuous in many ways, so we'll do regular updates on current events and stuff, because these things are going to trigger a lot of people. And I'm sure it's still going to bring up a lot of fear, but that's okay, because fear again is trying to release itself off the planet as well. So if we didn't feel it, you can't release it, right? So again, it's okay to feel it. It's not a bad thing. All right, guys, love and light. We'll see you all again very soon. Take care.